Anyone can fix a tap, but very few people understand how it should be done. And that is why most handyman businesses never become brands. I run a company called the Gentleman Home Services, and despite what people assume, it's not really about the handyman work. It's about standards. It's about how you show up, how you speak, and how you leave someone's home long after the job is done. I say this with respect because I come from this world, but the truth is, the handyman industry doesn't have a skill problem. It has a standards problem. People turn up late. They don't communicate. They don't turn up. They rush the job. They leave a mess behind. And somewhere along the way, that'll do becomes acceptable. But that'll do doesn't build trust. No, no. And it certainly doesn't build a brand. Because here's the thing. Customers don't actually understand the technical side of what we do. They don't know the difference between one fitting and another, but they do know how it feels to have someone in their home. They know if they feel comfortable, they know if they feel respected, and they know if something feels off. So I've built something different. I've built a standard, and what I call the gentleman standard. A gentleman arrives on time, not around about, not sometime in the morning, on time. A gentleman communicates clearly, no confusion, no chasing, no wandering. A gentleman respects the home, shoes considered, surfaces protected, space acknowledged. A gentleman finishes what he starts, properly, completely, and without shortcuts. And a gentleman leaves things better than he found them. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because this isn't just about being nice, it's about positioning. Most people in this industry compete on price. Cheaper, faster, quicker. But when you raise the standard, you stop competing on the price and you start competing on trust. And trust is where the real value is because people will always pay more for peace of mind. Am I right? For reliability, for the feeling that their home is in safe hands. And this is where my thinking changed. Because I stopped asking, how do I grow a handyman business? And I started asking, how do I build a standard that can scale? Because businesses rely on people, but brands rely on consistency. So the goal isn't just to do good work myself, it's to create something that other people can step into and represent. Mm? A recognizable way of doing things, a feeling, a reputation that travels ahead of you. It's exciting. And don't get me wrong. No, this isn't always the easy route. I wish it was easy, but it takes longer. It requires more thought, more care, more attention. And sometimes you look around and think, God, man, come on, other people are cutting corners and getting away with it. But I found the long game always wins. Because in a world where standards are quietly dropping, where good enough is becoming the norm, there is something quietly powerful about choosing to raise them. Not loudly, not arrogantly, just consistently. That's what we're building. Cool. Not just a service, a standard. The Gentleman Home Services.